I am Piyush. I head the data platform engineering at MakeMyTrip. MakeMyTrip is primarily an online travel agency, which is number one in India. And so we have different line of businesses like flights, hotels, holidays, and ground. Within ground, you have bus, rail, car, etc. And every line of business has its own product, tech dev, QA, and business teams, which is kind of a BU in itself. And then there are horizontal functions which are supporting these verticals, like data team. And within data team, we have three sub-functions: data platform, BI, and data science. And then you have other common functions like infra team, UI, UX, marketing, finance, and plenty of other stuff which are supporting these verticals and other things. So that's how the team structure is primarily. And specifically talking about data platform, within data platform, we have built various services and other things. And those services are then consumed by different verticals, line of businesses. And the team is structured around different pods, which are for example, working on some of the use cases by flights, some of the use cases by hotels, and some are the common engineers who are working primarily on building the platform itself, which is leveraged across all MakeMyTrip itself. So I will talk about two critical things wherein so customer is experiencing the data and data products and the big data stack kind of stuff, either directly or indirectly. So one is customer segmentation related stuff, which is heavily used across MakeMyTrip primarily on user targeting itself, either through mobile personalization, offers, discounting, and all the strategies around doing product building. They know, okay, this is a persona we are building up and we are targeting and other things. So data-driven decisions are also being done through the big data stack itself, wherein so we have data ingestion from the Clickstream data, transactional data, and we churn out and then build a data product. And hence, if you are working on mobile, if you see certain offers, etc., those are curated for you specifically on the segment you fall in, on the cohort you fall in. The other piece where we heavily rely big data products or data products are personalization and recommendations play at MakeMyTrip. Within personalization, we had a project named Cosmos internally, which is primarily leveraging all your data, user data, device data, and other things. And then the whole design is also on mobile specifically. You see so various cards are laid out by you, and any user activity which a user is doing on those device or handled phones itself are then based on your recent events which you have done, so the activity you are performing, your searches you are performing, we are doing cross-sell cards based on whatever you are searching for and other things. So, and then recommendations of hotels. We have services this hotel is very similar to this hotel, and then we are populating some of the cards with it, and then using recommendations a lot to reduce the information overload on the user itself. So personalization and customer segmentation are two big things. And the other piece, for example, for us, wherein we are leveraging the whole big data stuff is notifications play itself, wherein we are reaching out to funnel dropouts through retargeting of those customers. So the people who have left within the cart, etc., we already know, okay, what their intent was. So the users who are coming, for example, playing out for our coming to book travel related stuff on MakeMyTrip, either so they have no intent, which is so they have freshly installed our app and other things. There also we know something about them based on their location, device details, and other things. We are trying to use those attributes to give them some relevant content. And then similarly on the other side of it, where we already know based on your previous searches or transaction, etc., the intent of a user, and hence leveraging those two pieces together to either do notifications, do your mobile user experience very personalized, to deeper into the funnel starting from home itself. So so one is platform thinking. Another is like solving a use case. So a use case probably is like creating a particular data pipeline itself. And one is like so building a data platform or a platform per se, which is then leveraged across like for multiple use cases in general. So the thinking required, for example, while building or solving a particular use case and building a data platform is completely different. And while building a platform service or platform it's in itself, like especially data platform itself, you need to generalize things, right? As I was explaining, right, you need to generalize, okay, how your capturing of data would look like, right? You are building connectors for ingestion from like some part of it, because you have within an organization you have plenty of data stores, either OLTP data stores from which you are capturing some stuff, or a Clickstream kind of stuff where users are generating various event streams and other things. You think of, okay, where your data sources are, and then build off, okay, how my data pipeline would look like, and then divide your pipelines into a structure itself, and then lay out, okay, this is how I am generalizing my data capture layer itself. This is how my processing look like. So you define various processors, maybe stream processor and other things. So we leverage, for example, Spark itself. So for the same code is utilized in batch, and similarly on Spark streaming, we are utilizing same code in kind of micro batches of like maybe 500 millisecond to 50 millisecond kind of stuff based on what you are processing. And then like on the data stores side of it, and over the period of time we have realized, right, there is no right data store or kind of stuff, wherein you need to pick and choose what's best suited on NoSQL side of it for serving of the data which you are building and other things. And like, so as the use case I was explaining, personalization related stuff, we created our own database named BoulderDB in-house, especially on RocksDB, which is then catering to, as I was explaining, right, here the goal was personalization. You are talking about design for a particular person. Here we are talking about per user databases. So wherein you think about like, so how the whole piece is structured itself is, we are thinking of users, a particular user has its own database, and you have like plenty of information about what he is searching for, how many devices, you have many to many relationship between various user identifiers and other things, right? So you are building out in a particular manner wherein to suffice personalization needs, you are thinking of per user databases and building your stack according to it. So the thought process required while solving a use case versus building out a platform requires a completely different thing. Coming back on like, so how the platform for MakeMyTrip looks like, and luckily, right, the use case when we started building out the platform itself was to build a 360-degree profile of a customer itself. And as you mentioned, the challenge where you have like plenty of data stores across organization, which is like, so having a data or a copy or know-how about a particular user itself, which you need to stitch together to actually create a 360-degree profile of a customer itself. So how we have created the platform is like, so we have, broadly speaking, on a very high level, we have 4 layers. So one is capture layer, another is processing, then storage, and then data services layer itself. Within capture, we have PDD, which is pixel data tracker, which is primarily capturing data from all our mobile PWA desktop applications, and then dumping that data into Kafka layer, which is again used for distributed streaming platform as a distributed streaming platform. And then we have a data pipeline called Damdar, which is like data under motion to data at rest, which is picking out data from Kafka and then dumping onto a REST layer, which is HDFS itself, Hadoop distributed file system. And then we have a schema repository. So any event which we are capturing, not everything is unstructured, right? So you have like within our data stack, you have some amount of and pretty big amount of things which are structured, because here you define a schema around whatever needs to be captured at least, right? And then it helps while processing some of the data, like, so it's better to always put around a schema while capturing itself, so that when processing, you know, okay, what is coming in, and then it's very helpful to do stream processing and then batch processing also. So Columbus MDM is our schema repository, and then we use ETL tools like Scoop, Debezium, scripts and pretty of workflow schedulers like Oozie, Airflow, where we are creating various DAGs, like looking at our data pipelines and then leveraging out some of the stack over there. And then the next layer is processing layer. The processing layer primarily is like real-time processing and batch processing. The real-time processing, we call it glide layer, which is again powered by Spark streaming. In some bits of it, we also use Storm, Apache Storm. But like primarily for our stream processing use cases, we are dependent on Spark streaming itself. And then in batch also we leverage Spark. And on storage side of it, we have Hadoop, HDFS, Hive, Presto, and other things. We have in-house developed database named BoulderDB, which is again on top of Rocks itself. And then we use multi-model database like ArangoDB, Couchbase, because MakeMyTrip has a multi-data center environment. A user may land onto any of the data center, and hence we need to have cross-data center replication of the data also. So we leverage Couchbase, for example, with XDCR capabilities and other things. For our OLAP needs, so we use Druid. So wherein like, so all our customer segmentation related stuff, which I explained, so we internally called that project customer segmentation related stuff as Hydra. So anything related to customer segmentation is done primarily leveraging Druid as a technology. And then we have data services stack, which is again, we use Scala as our primary programming language in the whole data platform itself. And Scala is then leveraged even on building data services also, primarily using Akka. And then like, so we have caching layer again powered by RocksDB on the same itself. And coming back onto how the data platform architecture looks like. So we have, as I explained, right? So app, desktop, and PW applications are then ingesting, like calling PDT to push data events. And then various different line of business applications are also writing directly onto Kafka. The data interchange format from LOB applications or PDT itself is Evro. And the schema repository which we use is Columbus MDM, again in-house to thing. From Kafka, we have a batch pipeline named Damdar, which I explained already, dumping data into Hadoop. And then this is our real-time stream processing named Glide, which is putting data into BoulderDB itself. And then we have like batch processing again using Spark. We bring data through Debezium for real-time processing into Kafka. And then using Scoop, we do the ETL again and dump data into HDFS. And as like, so different sources like ERP systems, like analytics system, we use Adobe Omnichar and plenty of the other services. So we have like various data pipelines which are powering some of those data products at the back. We also have a monitoring platform, which is again part of our big data stack itself, which is powered by OpenPSTP, Grafana dashboarding, and other things. And then we, for visualizations, we use Redashed, Click, and Superset. So these are some of the open source tooling. Click is a enterprise product for BI and other things. And then whatever I explained, right? So we build at the end of the day, we build data services, which are then consumed as data product by a different line of businesses itself. So the team size is like 12 odd people, primarily working on the platform side of it itself. And the team structure is like, so you accordingly, as I explained the architecture, right? So you have some components being taken care by some data engineers. So primarily the composition would look like, so you have data engineers and some data analysts. We also have one member who is working primarily on the data quality side of it. So which is also very essential, right? So while working on any data product building and other things, so data quality needs to be there and thoroughly checked, and there is automation need to be done to like automate some of the pieces wherein you are continuously evaluating your data quality and then checking out against your benchmarks and other things, right? And then the other piece is like you have very specialized people who know Spark, Scala, and other things, who are building out some of the processing related stuff and the data products I talked about, like customer segmentation engine or personalization engines and other things. And then we have an extended team which is called data science team. Within data science team, also you have folks, for example, from machine learning, AI background. specifically, for example, on NLP side of it, they have done PhDs and other things in NLP, and then working on some of the product building side of it, especially, for example, chatbots and other things. And then we have like a general set, for example, to work on recommendations and other things. So they have core specialization working on solving some of the core pieces, which are then leveraged by different line of businesses itself. And then we have BI team, which is again extension to the data team itself, which is primarily doing the analysis side of it, reporting, dashboarding, visualization, and plenty of other stuff. So yes, we do see, because as like so more and more of these data services are now part of their core funnel itself, right? So and hence we see these teams growing also, and plus what we also see is like, so the teams who are already working on feature engineering side of it and other things are also going to be mainstream part of building out various data products and other things. So it will grow almost like 2 to 3x in next 3 years frame itself. So that's the growth which we see from the team size point of view. So and it's like an evolution which we have seen, right? So and looking at back, and it's like you always evolve as the design and some of the other stuff is evolving, right? There was no there was no mobile era per se, maybe 20 years back, right? So you have, with the advent of mobile, things have changed. For example, now we are talking about, okay, the interface which you right now have, like mobile, maybe it will be a voice enabled stuff, or maybe it will become like a chat kind of stuff like WhatsApp and other things, right? So the front ends are also changing, and the back, right? So it's like, again, now you can't put many content onto the user and then like leave it at the user to choose within the funnel and other things. So you need to be as a real, like, so it's a communication which is happening between a user and you, and how you solve at the back, the things are going to be much more complex, right? So it's not going to be a particular microservice or services architecture kind of stuff which is solving these things. It would primarily be heavily relying on data, machine learning, and AI side of it. And as Andrew said, AI is new electricity, right? So and hence every part of our component will leverage AI, along with like primarily the data products which we are talking about, primarily either on voice side of it, you would be leveraging some of the stuff. On chat side of it, you would be leveraging some of the stuff as bots at the back. And then obviously on competition, data analysis, and plenty of other things, the companies who are going to win, for example, in a longer run itself, would be the best who are going to leverage primarily the data side of it, machine learning side of it, and AI side of it.